Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
Our guest today, Lynita Smith, I met at a writers' conference. She graciously gave me one of her books entitled Curtain Call, which tells her story of how God directed her life through so many difficulties. She's here to share with us a beautiful gem that God uncovered for her in the Psalms.
Psalm 27, 13 and 14, from the New International Version. I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. My toughest year ever out of the 50 I've spent on earth was 2014. Not only did I face the death of my dad, but suffered from PTSD from childhood trauma. Dad was not one of my abusers, but he did abuse alcohol, and that made our otherwise fond relationship tenuous. Because I dealt with so many hard issues at once, I began to wonder if God even cared about me. I'd always felt a little like He loved everyone else, but merely tolerated me. The more I thought about my relationship with Him, the more I wondered if He even cared at all. If He did, why would He let so many bad things happen? I didn't want to die, but I often thought how nice it would be to simply fall asleep peacefully and not wake up. After all, heaven isn't so bad, right? Around that time, I attended a conference where the keynote speaker gave a talk on Psalm 27:14. His words were so inspiring, I wanted to read the entire psalm when I returned to my hotel room that night. It was as though David experienced all the same things I had and perfectly expressed my heart's cry. I already knew how it ended from the talk, an exhortation to be strong, take heart, and wait for the Lord. Though I'd read the psalm many times before, it struck me with new inspiration as the keynoter spoke. I needed to know more. As I read, the verse before the speaker's key verse jolted life into my barely beating heart. I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. The land of the living. I'd wanted to escape the land of the living for so long, and yet the psalm was saying it was possible to see God's goodness even before we arrive in heaven. Could David be confident of a good God after he'd experienced so many betrayals? Everyone he trusted had either minimized him, tried to hurt him, or abandoned him. I realized the struggles David described in the Psalms were only the beginning of his story. He lived to a ripe old age, fulfilling an immense purpose as Israel's king, and eventually became an ancestor of the long-awaited Messiah. If God could do that for David, I reasoned, He could do it for me too. With wise counsel and a lot of dependence on God, I eventually left the dark place and allowed Him to direct my purpose. I believe discovering this gem in the Psalms set my life on a new course, one that allows me to fully understand God's character. I can be confident of His goodness, and that's the source of my strength and what gives me the ability to take heart and to wait on the Lord.
Thank you for that, Lynita. Yes, we can be confident of God's goodness. If you'd like to get to know Lynita better or to get a copy of her book, check out her website in the description below.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.